staff, President Chelsea. We are having our administrative and regulatory meeting this month. We need to have approval first and foremost of our administrative meeting that we had November the 3rd. Can I get agreement that we should do this meeting, this past meeting? Can I get a vote?
Yeah, I move to approve the minutes.
Second? I'll second them. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any approved? Any? Miss Commissioner Shaw, are you on? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
So approved.
I'm feeling as though she must be having some technical issues.
You're having technical issues.
Okay. I will ask Imani if you can please reach out to her directly, please.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyway, our fellow commissioners that are here are Mr. Commissioner Paul Weech, and we're waiting now for our other commissioner, who is Lola Shaw, which will be there formally. The next item on the agenda that we're going to discuss is an action item that we are going to discuss is the revision to Chapter 22 of the Housing Choice Voucher Administrative Plan and related revision to the fiscal year 2026 5-year Public Housing Agency, that's PHA, plan. Chelsea, can you take that for us, please?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair, members of the committee, the HOC team, and members of the public. Commissioners, this item is before you as a housekeeping item, one in which we're seeking your support to advance a recommendation to the commission related to revising a provision in our administrative plan located in Chapter 22. Commissioners, as you may recall, in a former meeting, you approved and supported our recommendation to add project-based vouchers to the SAGE. HUD has established protocols for the award of project-based vouchers, which can occur either by way of a formal solicitation, RFP, and allowing various developers to compete for them. And most recently, HUD modified requirements and allowed housing authorities to award project-based vouchers to themselves if they would outline the plan in which they intend to do that. We still have certain requirements with HUD when taking that step. What this seeks to do is to amend our plan to give us the authority to provide project-based vouchers to HOC. And in this case, the first project that would benefit from that is the SAGE. We have crafted this broadly enough to allow for the commission in the future to also think about self-awarding project-based vouchers. And of course, as the commission is aware, this is really a great tool that allows us to provide ELS, extremely low income residents, an opportunity to reside in some of our properties where the rent profile may be on the higher end. And so it's a win-win situation for us, and it definitely helps advance our strategic plan. I am going to turn it over to our Vice President of Compliance, Darcel Cox, who will walk you through this presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, President Andrews. For the record, my name is Darcel Cox, Vice President of Compliance, and I think President Andrews said it all, so I will try to quickly walk you through this presentation. But I am here today to ask for your support to allow the President to advance recommendations to allow recommendations for the President to advance to the full Commission to advance recommendations and revisions for Chapter 22 of HOC's administrative plan, as well as the 5-year public housing agency plan. These revisions include language of HOC's intent to allocate project-based vouchers through a non-competitive process to its development projects, more specifically the SAGE. Next slide. These regulations are governed by federal regulations through a competitive and non-competitive process. HOC's revisions to Chapter 22 includes removal, restructuring, and enhancements to regulatory language for methods of competitive selection process. So as President Andrews mentioned, the competitive selection process would be if we issued a RFP. Next slide. In addition, HOC has included language in Chapter 22 for exceptions to the competitive selection process, which is the non-competitive selection process. Next slide. HOC must notify the public of its intent to non-competitively select one or more projects for its project-based voucher assistance through its 5-year public housing agency plan. HOC has done this by amending its 5-year public housing agency plan and posting for public comment. HOC updated the goals and objectives to publicly declare HOC's intent to award project-based vouchers through the non-competitive process in accordance with HUD regulations. Next slide. So I will ask if the Administrative and Regulatory Committee joins staff's recommendation to the Commission to adopt the proposed revisions to Chapter 22 of the HCV Administrative Plan and adopt the proposed revisions to fiscal year 2026 5-year PHA Plan. I'll take any questions at this time.
Commissioner Paul, do you have any questions?
Yeah, thanks, Darcel. Nice presentation, good and crisp. And I had 3 quick questions. The first one is just a little bit more about project-based vouchers. I refreshed my memory, but the statute caps the amount of project-based vouchers we can use up to 20% of our total, and we can go a little higher if we serve special populations. How many of our vouchers do we project-based now?
I will defer to Lynn Hayes, who's here, but this question did come up during the regulatory administrator.
Sorry.
Lynn,
That's okay. Good afternoon, commissioners. Currently, we have 894 project-based vouchers allocated.
Out of about 8,000 total.
Yeah, right. Our baseline is 7799.
Yeah. And then maybe this is I lost the thought. Oh, okay. And then under this proposal, Darcel, it's if we've already, Chelsea's made a few. We've already approved project basing for the SAGE because that was part of the development plan. But the proposal says that whenever we do it, project-based vouchers, it'll come before the board. And Chelsea, do you anticipate that'll just be in the context of approving overall developments?
Correct. Well, whenever we present a development plan and the financing plan at that time, and also just the overall approach for a project, if we intend to recommend project basing any of that development with our own PBVs, we would make that request, and it would have to be a part of the overall plan that the commission agrees to at that time.
Right. And then in reading through the materials, HUD is going to have to approve this change to our 5-year plan, but do they also get to approve any time that we propose to project-based new vouchers?
It depends. In some instances, for example, with this particular project, the HUD is required to do what's called a subsidy layering review to
Right.
determine and confirm that project-based vouchers are being adequately utilized here, and they look at the viability of the overall project, and you have to get approval. If your project-based using a project-based voucher in a development that also has state funds, for example, the state CDA can also conduct that subsidy layering review. But either way, an independent entity, HUD or the state, is engaged and has to give green light that project-based vouchers can be utilized at for that project.
Yeah, thank you. I'm only asking because there's so much attention in the housing field now about how much these review process add to the time cost of doing development.
Yes. And when we can, we'll go to the state.
Yeah. And then Darcel, thank you again. But my final question was, I got a little bit concerned about the timeline of the process here for getting this before the full board, in that we have our public comment period open December 1st.
Correct. And it's a 45-day
Right.
period.
So it closes on the day of the next board meeting.
Correct.
And then it says there'll be a public hearing. Is the board meeting going to be the public hearing?
No, the public hearing is before the board meeting.
Yeah. And you'll have a mechanism to bring to the board anything that we learn from the concerns that the public raises.
Absolutely. So any comments that come before us, we'll bring them to the public hearing. And if we do not have any comments, then obviously we won't have anything. But yes, we will gather that information and make sure that we present it to the board. Yeah,
I wouldn't anticipate a large set of comments, but we might. But I guess I was just thinking there should be a mechanism to make sure the board is aware of those before making the decision.
Absolutely.
Super. Yes. Madam Chair, I'm done with my questions, and I'm prepared to approve the proposal from staff.
Did Commissioner Shaw ever get on line?
Yes, I'm here.
Hi.
Madam Chair. Hi. I also wanted to thank Darcel. I don't have any questions at this time. Actually, one of my questions about the timing was covered by Commissioner Reach, so I appreciate that, and I'm ready to adopt.
Okay. With that being said, should we take this to the commission on January the 14th? All in favor of that? Can I get a vote for that?
Aye.
Aye.
So move. So move. So we'll take this to the committee on the 14th of January. That is when our next meeting is. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Did we have anything else, Madam President?
No, not at this time. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, and happy holidays to everybody.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Paul. Very good questions. Thank you, Commissioner Shaw, for showing. And you got time now to go to your meeting.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Take care, everybody.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays. Thank you. Bye-bye.